Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of the Daily Bone podcast, where we discuss all things crypto market. That includes the majors like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, Memecoins, and of course, NFTs. Today, we're going to discuss the acceleration of global Bitcoin reserves. We're going to talk about the imminent Trump token unlock coming today and some degen plays we've been making during this rather slow season for the crypto majors. I'm joined today by Easy Eats Bodega and Kicks. Kicks, it's been a couple days. How you feeling?
Dude, same as Wednesday, man. You know, you check every day, you open up, price same. Price don't go up, price don't go down. Same price. Solana looks pretty good. Solana to 150. Nick said Solana wasn't going to 150. I said Solana was going to 150. It's going to go to 150. After that, I don't know what's going to happen. Okay, I'm not sure. There's some fun things happening in the space. I know some people in the dungeon of Onchain. It's also Easter for a lot of kids. A lot of kids off at school. Easter, Easter egg hunts. Lots of candy. Gonna be rubbed up on that sugar. So, God bless all the parents out there.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. My daughter actually has an Easter egg hunt at daycare that I'm gonna be looking at some pictures from here in the next hour or so. So that's pretty exciting.
Fun.
She's a big fan of hunting the Easter eggs. Probably the best parenting hack, and this is like a great unlock this season, is just like throwing a bunch of them in the yard, and then she just like wanders around for 45 minutes trying to find them all.
That's awesome. Maybe put one underneath an electrical box, see what happens.
Ooh, even interesting. Teach about danger at an early age.
Yep. Risk first reward.
Risk first. Speaking of risk first reward, today's show is brought to you by DYDX, the leading decentralized perps trading platform. Easy's been running up our DYDX account, and they are currently in the middle of the surge promotion. 9 seasons, 9 months. Compete for $20 million. It's $20 million with an M. That's a lot of money on the line. Earn a piece of these rewards. Easy's doing pretty well. I think he's in the top 150 of all traders. You can sign up now at bodogos.com/DYDX to join. Easy. What's our purpose count like? I'm really sorry to make you open this up, because I think the last thing we had was a fart coin long, and I don't know if that's doing super hot right now.
I closed it. We made $178.
Oh, we made money on it.
Let's
go. Let's go.
Nothing crazy. I don't know. I don't think I'm taking any trades right now. The equities market is closed. Sol looks decent here, like Kix just said. I feel like a long could be interesting. Pre-markets are currently pricing a 1% move down on equities despite the market closed. We won't really know what that looks like till Sunday, so I'd rather not take a swing here. Underneath the trend line. Yeah. Somebody just said Trump long is free cash because of the unlock. I don't know if I agree with that.
We're going to talk about it in the weather report for that. So 40 tokens are unlocking. It's 20% of the circulating supply. It's going to creators and CIC Digital. There's 2 different tranches for this. Creators and CIC Digital 1 and creators and CIC Digital 4. Linear unlock over the next 2 years for each of them. 3-month cliff. So this is the cliff, the initial cliff right now. So we're going to see 40 million tokens unlocked.
I'm probably going to pass on that long. I kind of just want to sit on my hands. I don't think there's anything crazy that we should be doing right now.
Yeah, that feels fair. I mean, the crypto market has felt just so dead this week in terms of major price action. Like Kick said, it's been flat. We're same price. Solana has been outperforming a little bit over the last week in terms of the other majors, which is good to see. You love to see that. Sol BTC is on a nice little uptrend here. This is the 6 hour on Sol BTC. So hitting a bottom on Monday of 2 weeks ago, Monday the 7th. We've been up only essentially since then on Solana. So interesting to see that on Solana. Good things there. But yeah, I mean, pretty boring on the majors front, but we do have some news to dive into. We're going to have Kix take it away with the weather report here, and then we're going to dive into the so-called meat and potatoes of the show.
Ladies and gentlemen, today's Friday, April 18th. Looking at the crypto roundup, majors chopping on the day. Bitcoin just under 85K, Ethereum under 1,600. Solana not looking too bad at 135. Let's look into some interesting news. Binance CEO Richard Tang revealed that Binance has been working with global governments and sovereign wealth funds to aid in the establishment of Bitcoin strategic reserves. He didn't identify the countries in discussion and noted that United States is way ahead. What's up with that? United States way ahead, dude. Number one. Next up, the Trump token unlock is set to take place with 40 million tokens being unlocked for creators and CIC Digital. This represents 20% of the circulating supply, as the Trump token currently sits at a $1.5 billion FDV. Finally, crypto exchange EXCH will be shutting down on May 1st. A majority vote from their management team chose to cease and retreat in response to the allegations that North Korea's Lazarus Group used the exchange to launder roughly $35 million after the Bybit hack in February. Cease and retreat. I didn't know that was a thing you could do as a business, but they did it. That's it for the weather report. Back to you in the studio.
Excellent weather report as always, Kicks. I found this one, it was pretty wild. I've never heard of EXCH. That's a tough name. EXCH.
Hey guys, you guys trade on EXCH?
But apparently they laundered $35 million from the Bybit fund, and then their management team, voted to cease and retreat.
Cease and retreat. That's like a 1700s, kind of like military thing.
Playing Risk right now.
Yeah, exactly. I cease and retreat. Like, can you even do that though? Do they think that like stops liability or something? Yep. Sorry, you can't sue us. We've ceased and retreated.
Yeah, we're now fortified and protected. They're saying basically like I don't know. This is a lot.
We can't do business anymore.
Yeah, like it's a hostile operating environment where people are paying too much attention to us because people misinterpret our goals. It's like it's a little wild. I feel like maybe this exchange was run by North Korea. Who knows though? Who knows? Wild story there. We also saw the Trump token unlock. We've talked about this all week. Just basically a wait and see game at this point. Easy said he's not trading it. I don't think I'm trading it. Do you have any interest in trading Trump unlock, doing anything like that? If it dips,
literally not at all.
Kicks, no interest either.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, I don't think you know how to trade that unless like you have information that I do not have information on. I mean, I could see like, some sort of, it's a bullish unlock and it goes up, 50% and then retraces, but I'm not interested in playing such games.
Yeah, I think I agree. Igor saying why not short? This makes me think of like why not long? Because I think everyone's like,
that's Charfu, by the way. Love Charfu.
Oh, what's up, Charfu? Everyone's like saying like short it. So like I don't know, maybe it squeezes out and they do some weird things there. But I'll be paying attention. One thing I do think you'd be interesting in Kicks, and I'd like to hear your take here, or at least a little context for the audience. Have you seen the dark token? Have you been paying attention to this at all?
I have not. Tell me more.
Okay, so the dark token, I had no idea what this is. I thought it was a scam, but it's been like up only for a long time.
Oh wow!
And what made me think of you here, basically, it is experimental network of trusted execution environments, TEEs, that are powering the world of MCPs.
I did hear about this.
Yeah, so I'm like curious. You've been working in AI, like what are TEEs and like how are they important for like AI infrastructure?
Yeah, it's essentially a way for an AI agent to like have the simplest version is for it to securely have crypto keys, right? So TEEs are a way that an AI agent can have a wallet, right? Like an AI agent can't write a seed phrase down on a piece of paper, right, and store it in their house like us humans can do. So in order for an AI agent to safely and securely operate a crypto wallet, they need to have a TEE. There you can do more complex things. So for example, like an AI agent can be completely encapsulated in a TEE, which means that the AI agent, all of its logic, right, is also sitting in the TEE. So how the agent operates on top of its wallet as well. So it's like a decentralized way for AI agents to live or have wallets, etc. So it's very important for like AI agents to be able to operate on chain, right? Like you don't want, let's say an AI agent, was managing money for a bunch of people, right? Like you wouldn't want a single dev to have the keys to that wallet that the agent has, right? So you'd be able to use one of these. So it's pretty cool technology. I was really excited about it a couple of months ago. So it's cool to see like another token coming out and doing so well. The token I bet on to express this bet, I don't think is doing nearly as well, but I haven't checked the price in a bit. But yeah, this is cool.
Which token was that? I'm trying to remember.
It was the Fala network. I got kind of wrecked on that trade.
FAL.
Yeah. It hasn't moved much in a while, but it's down from where I bought it.
Well, I think these like plays are important, like because I don't think AI in crypto is done, and I think like we saw like the initial like big pump when people like were speculating on what could happen and what could be, and a lot of things got released that were like essentially just chatbot wrappers, and like people were calling them that at the time.
Yeah,
they pretty much were, and people were like, "Oh, look at all the cool stuff that AI can potentially do." And I think like the expectations outpaced the infrastructure.
yeah,
And now that infrastructure is being built behind the scenes, I think we're going to see a second run. It's just a matter of like when and like what's going to be that initial catalyst. I think that could be when we're talking about like runners that or like metas that like we should be watching out for over the summer, because there's always kind of been a runner or meta. Like, that seems like something that I'm going to have my eye on.
And so it looks like specifically too, these are meant to work well with MCPs in the way that us average people can understand what an MCP is. It's basically an API in a sense, right? But it's like an API that never gets deprecated, right? Like an MCP basically means that you can code an AI to be able to interact with this API and not have to worry about, because what happens with APIs, right, is they'll release new versions, right? And then over time they'll deprecate the old version, right? And so if you were trying to build this autonomous AI agent, right, and you put calls into the T, right? Over time, those calls may be deprecated and then like the agent will break, right? An MCP is like a permanent API essentially. It allows the agent to like reread the docs. I'm breaking it down into super layman terms, but there's all sorts of cool like MCPs, right? There's MCPs for AI agents to code things in Unity, right? So to make games in the Unity engine, right? There's all sorts of different MCPs. So yeah, this is really cool technology. I do actually remember hearing about it a week ago. I didn't know that they had a token or anything like that, but nice to see it go up only.
Yeah. This is interesting. I'm like looking at one of their games. Like I have no idea what like you just explained MCP, but it kind of went over my head, like middle of that explanation. Looking at Dark's Twitter, I was like reading through one of their games. They have this like Sputnik game where you're like basically going through space and trying to like find a planet, and they're just like referencing like Solana MCP, giving the Sputnik AI like capabilities to explore the blockchain.
Yeah, so that's like a perfect example, right? So like the Solana MCP, basically like there's an API to interact with the Solana blockchain, right? But as Solana upgrades and improves things over times, like an API could get deprecated. So if you just had a straight API call somewhere, it could just not work out. It would just break the agent eventually. But with an MCP, the agent can kind of relearn new things. This is kind of cool.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what I'm looking at or what I'm doing, but apparently like
buy a planet.
Yeah, I don't think you can buy planets. That would be great. I think you're like the goal is to like navigate the AI to a certain planet.
That one looks like blue, inhabitable.
Yeah.
Lots of water. That looks like a gas giant. Oh, it's Earth.
Oh, you move. Whoa. That's kind of fun. Yeah, I don't know, but this is one of the games that's being developed on.
Heyo.
Let's go right through it. Yeah, one of the games being developed with Dark. It's like an experiment essentially. It's not. I don't
so
think
Dark's based on the Dark Forest.
Yeah, pretty cool. Yes, that's what I'm gonna watch. I mistakenly like looked at this like running up and like looking at this chart. I like never like dove into what it was or clicked on the Twitter, I was like, oh, this is like a honeypot because this chart has been like
Up only.
up only for.
That's really cool to see, though.
Yeah, so that's what I wanted to talk with you about. Looking at your involvement in AI. Another one that was interesting, easy. We talked about the ice bucket challenge. I'm now out of this. I'm at paper hands. This one's up nicely from where we bought at 100K, a little 3x the other day. I saw Peyton Manning was doing the ice bucket challenge. Are you still holding ice?
Absolutely not.
Because so Clemente is the only one, like
Yep.
the one with the viral faith and just like the diamond hands on these. It's so funny, like watching all three of us trade, because we'll like talk about these plays and like everyone exits at different times. But it's like super funny to me seeing this whole thing like come back.
Yeah, I remember when it was really big. I think it was in either high school or started college,
Yeah,
and now it's back. I'm a fan of it. I think it's cool. I was like, yeah, it's pretty dope. Good for them. But yeah, I saw it and was like, oh, I think this could do well. Like it fits the narrative.
yeah. So what are you looking at right now in terms of like Bullx filters? Like, what are you like trying to find? Like, how are you
Just
set up?
viral trend stuff. That's it. Like if I see something popping off on social media, I'll go and look if there's a trend for it. If there's not, so be it. If there is, send it. And sometimes it doesn't work out. Like the thing from the Fantastic Four was going viral this morning. Saw it, was like, this is interesting. Bought some. It's at 5K.
Is that the Rock?
Yeah, the Rock guy.
thing?
The Rock cock.
Yeah, I followed you into that. I took a 50% haircut there, but I got out.
Yeah, I got fucked.
I didn't go too heavy into that. I was watching your show this morning. Yeah, so I guess it's like, are you like, so you're not really scanning, you're basically like on social media, and then you're using that to just pop over to Bullx and try
To
to
some
find it.
extent, I'll have like the scan up. But if I don't see anything come through, I don't really like. I'll have it up, and if I see something interesting, I'll go look. But it's not like hyperactive scanning. You can be a little bit slower right now, just because the market is so dull.
Right. Yeah, like I just don't see anything of interest right now. Like there's a token called 3 Coffee No Lunch.
You don't like cushionify? Cushiofication?
Where's that?
On the left. At 19K.
Cushionify. Ooh. Cushionify. Look at this little image.
That looks comfy, man.
This is gonna be one that runs and we talk about and maybe like, why didn't I buy this?
It's so comfy. So
Is
comfy.
there like is it just one tweet or is it okay, so you can do a bunch of things.
Oh man, that looks so comfy.
These do look nice.
Oh,
No,
look at that.
Cartman.
Well, you know, there's a lot of fluff on that guy.
This is kind of cool for these things though, because like I think this is like sort of an unlock that I think we're going to see more of. Right now, we're seeing it a lot for images. I think you could see this eventually for like more things, like short videos, GIFs, etc. That could be interesting for tokenization. And what I'm talking about is basically people like releasing like a cool thing they found that they were able to generate repeatedly with different mediums on like ChatGPT, and then they share the exact prompt that you can just basically replace a few like variables and generate your own version of it. I'm seeing this, like we saw this like basically start with like Ghibli, and we're continuing to see derivatives. But I think this is something that's going to be like very interesting. Like maybe like even like tokenization of prompts is going to be something that's in the future. And definitely something I'm going to be watching out for. But there are some cool ones here. But like I think this is too much of a like direct Ghibli derivative for me to like jump in on this like specific one, but I do think it's pretty cool. Moving on. We talked about Dark, talked about T. We got Richard Tang talking about Binance working with global governments, sovereign wealth funds, establishing Bitcoin strategic reserves. Somewhat interesting to me seeing like there's talks out there, but it sounds like US is in the lead, and I don't think we're expecting any sort of like US Bitcoin reserve in the next 3 to 6 months. So I think like we're pretty far out from this sort of thing. I'm curious to see like
everyone's behind Bhutan.
how we're gonna track like flows, like what kind of buying pressure gets put into the crypto market. What does the price of Bitcoin react to this? But I mean, it's just a big guessing game right now, where it's kind of like we're waiting for all these tailwinds to finally like hit, but they're like not hitting right now. We're basically getting the announcements and not the execution.
Hey, if they're buying this and not gold, that's good for us.
That is good for us. Like I feel like we need something like that devastating, like U.S. like that revalues its gold or like sells X gold and buys Bitcoin to like see some sort of like violent price move. But right now, it feels like it's gonna be like a slow grind up over time. All right, move on. I got some quick hitters I'm going to run through, and then we'll dive into one or two of these. So we saw Coinbase saying that they're upgrading their Solana infrastructure, making it much easier to interact with Solana. So that's a welcome addition for Solana users. Galaxy Digital investment firm deposited $100 million worth of ETH to exchanges last week, maybe selling off some of that ETH. A16Z invested an additional $55 million into Layer Zero. Interesting to see what's going on there. Layer Zero powering liquidity across chains. The European Central Bank made its seventh consecutive rate cut, cutting rates 25 basis points yesterday. Trump, he was like publicly attacking Jerome Powell the other day. Yesterday, it came out that he's in private talks of like trying to figure out how to actually remove Powell from office or how to make that happen. I don't know.
2018 flashbacks, dude. Same exact thing happening.
Yeah, so I'm curious to see what's going on there. He's eyeing Kevin Warsh as a successor. In terms of tariff wars, China's halted natural gas purchases from the United States. Panama City approved crypto payments for taxes, fines, and fees. And then, yeah, that's it. That's it for the quick hitters today. One thing
It's funny because Trump hates Jerome Powell so much, but then Bessent or whatever, like the Treasury guy, he's like, me and Jerome get breakfast once a week just to like keep tabs on everything and make sure everything's good, dude. It's just funny how it works, dude. It's like the good cop, bad cop.
They're like working on him. It's great.
Yeah, you can't fire him, but you can. If last time he just kept saying, I'm going to fire you. And then he eventually lowered the rates. So I think that's what Trump's doing. He's just like, if I just tell him I'm going to fire him in the news once a week, maybe yeah, Will Ferrell could play for that. That would be hilarious, actually.
I thought you meant bad cop, bad cop.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Exactly.
You came in so hot. I knew I had to top that.
He like throws him on the desk. He's like, what are you doing, man? Great movie.
Yeah, super underrated movie. But yeah, interesting to see what's going to happen there. Rate cuts look like they're not going to happen until like July, maybe. I think it's like 50-50 in June. No chance in May, really. If we do see rate cuts in May, it'll be a surprise, and I think we'll see markets react positively. So we'll keep tabs on that. Keep you updated there. We did talk about Solana's price action outpacing the other majors. Report came out of Blockworks. Solana's Q1 revenue, $819 million. This actually surpasses every other blockchain listed here combined. Ethereum, Bitcoin, Tron, BNB, Base, Arbitrum, Polygon, Optimism, Avalanche, ZK Sync, Era, Aptos, and Polygon ZK EVM. So this is basically revenue from transaction fees.
Yeah, and I think it's 2x bigger than if you combined all of Ethereum and all of its L2s.
Yeah.
It's still maybe more than 2x bigger.
Yeah, so that's crazy that they're bringing in this much revenue from fees. Considering like also like their fees are so much smaller. They're just doing that much more on-chain like quantity of transactions, volume.
But what does it say? This is including transaction fees and out of protocol fees. So this is including like Jito tips and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
But still, I mean, it's massive.
I think I can share the actual analytics here. Yeah, Q1.
I mean, that's wild, dude. That
I mean, look at this
like,
jump here, Q3 to Q4. It went from like almost half of Ethereum to passing it, and then more than everything else combined.
Yeah, and then in Q like it's Q4 to Q1 has not changed, but ETH halved.
Yep. Interesting to see. Yeah, I mean, still life on Solana. I mean, Solana might be. People are saying, "What's the Solana this cycle?" It might just be Solana again.
Seriously though.
Yeah.
I mean, like network effects are like, super strong, and it's so fast and so cheap. It's like if someone like comes in and they're like, we're a little faster than Solana and we're 20% cheaper. Like no one's going to switch to that. Like Solana, the switching cost from ETH to Solana was massive, right? The switching cost from like Solana to something that's like 20% cheaper and 20% faster is not going to get a lot of developers or users to be like, oh my God, we got to like drop everything and move there. So, the Solana boys looking pretty good right here.
Just
So
send
you
it back to 290, please.
Will you sell it all there instead of 500?
No, I'll probably still hold it. It just like doesn't fucking matter.
Like I think like our optimistic targets last year, like we're saying like okay, sell in May, sell in April, sell in May of 2025. We're aiming for $500 Solana. We're aiming for like $5,000 ETH and $100,000 Bitcoin. We haven't really hit those marks yet, so we'll see what happens. But I don't know if we predicted a global trade war to kind
You
of
didn't predict that?
No.
Fucking idiot.
Yeah, so I mean, all the writing was on the wall. Like Trump was favored to win this time last year, I believe, or like getting close to the point where he was favored to win, and he was very America first. I think he talked about trade a decent amount during the campaign that he wanted to make everyone pay their fair share. So like that was a sticking point of the campaign. And to be fair, what he's talked about in the campaign, he's been implementing. I feel like there's been a strong push towards digital assets and blockchain, which like I'm surprised it went like basically as expected or more than expected for crypto.
Yeah. Also, like the like U.S. political strategy is on 2-year cycles, right? Because there's midterms, right, and then there's the every 4 years president. Meaning that if like Trump's gonna like want to rip the Band-Aid and make a lot of changes that could be volatile, right? It makes sense that you're gonna do that right away, right? Try to have it resolved and cleared up probably within a year, and then have the next year be very good, right? That's like what you would try to do strategically so that in midterms you had a good cycle and you're able to keep doing what you're doing. I thought about this exact same thing in January, but somehow so stupidly like inverted it. I was like, it didn't make any sense. I was like, yeah, I would have sold more, but it makes sense that you want to like rip the Band-Aid, have the first year be like kind of rebuild, chopping, whatever. Right. And then going into the next year, it's kind of like what he did in 2018 and 2019, right? It's like right around like the midterms happening or after the midterms happening, he starts to do all the tariff stuff, right? Which makes like 2018 choppy. Then he's trying to make 2019 really good and then 2020 really good going into the re-election year. So if you were to like make a strategy based off of that, you would say like Q4 this year is when you probably get like the big turnaround.
That makes sense. I mean, that kind of lines up with just like general market cycles where we've been seeing like winter, like late or like early winter be like the time to like get the run and sell off.
100%, dude. I was just thinking, man, I think like in crypto, you could just show up like the last week of September every year and just crush it and like capture 90% of everything and then just disappear for 9 months. And you could do pretty well.
Yep. Yeah, I think our like is it the market cycle? Like it just feels like almost like we're front running it now. Like yeah, the trade war is happening, but sell may go away. It's like, all right, well, like everyone's already went away. It's April. We went away a month early.
Yeah, I saw some guy, he basically like drew a line at May for like the last 6 years in crypto. And it was like 5 out of 6 times it was a really good time to sell in May. Because like even in 2022, right, we had the huge bleed out from November, but then May is when like NFTs collapsed by 80%, Luna exploded, right? Like everything went way more down than that. And obviously last year it was the same thing, right? Like if you sold in May and like rebought after summer, and caught the Trump pump, you did pretty well.
Yeah, that makes sense. um, yeah, I'm just nervous to see what's going to happen.
You nervous?
I hated summer last year. Like I didn't like summer last year. It was brutal. I'm hoping that like some of these tailwinds kick in. Like we're seeing regulations, we're seeing like strategic reserves, other interesting things on that front. Like I'm hoping this plus maybe like actual companies that have like decided to like, hey, now that like the US is like opening its arms to crypto developers and the world is kind of like accepting it more, maybe we're gonna get more serious developers in the space building on crypto.
Yeah, and I think last year, Ray, was kind of like an exception because I think the uncertainty of like if Kamala gets elected in the Democrats versus like Trump, right? Not that that would affect like degen fun stuff happening, but like 2023, if I am not mistaken, in like May and through the summer of 2023, we had Pepe launch, right?
Right.
Was that May or was that April?
You pulled up.
Maybe April. But then we had Friendtech. I want to say we also had Friendtech come out of the gates that time of year in 2023. Meaning that even if like the majors and stuff like that aren't doing anything exciting, there's still very often like during this time of year some really cool projects or things that like, you know, come out that if you're around for.
It's like almost exactly a year old, Pepe.
Yeah. Yeah, so it was April, right? Like this time April of last year, and then I may be wrong, but I think Friendtech was
2023, not 2024.
Yeah, 2023. Exactly. And I think this time around 2023 is when Friendtech came out. Point being that like if you're active and you're keeping tabs on things, there could be like a really strong something that comes out.
Yeah, I mean Pepe's such a hard one though. Like
there were signs.
Yeah, and that thing ran sideways for so long.
Yeah, then they found a very good market maker right there.
Yeah, the best
market maker.
472, ran it up to billion, 4 billion, 7 billion, 10 billion, sold it all, back to 3.
I can't believe it went above 10 for a sec. That's wild.
That was when like coins were going to be global currency.
The wild thing too is like back at 3, because I bought when it was like 40 million or 30 million. Like it's like, oh, it's down to 3 billion. It's still like 100x. You know what I mean? From
yep.
Classic.
Until it flipped ship. I'm gonna look at like the meme coin majors. Like I feel like a lot of these have been just like bleeding out slowly. Like everything was like huge. Like SHIB's not even over 10 billion anymore. 7 bill for SHIB, 3 bill for Pepe, 1.5 for Trump. That's going to change today. Bonk's under a billion. Like there's only.
You know what's funny about the Trump coin? And there's a guy in our group, like in our community. I think maybe it's Manny or something. He asked us in like 2024. Like he was like, what's the one sign or one thing that you would see that you would then say the cycle's over and you should sell everything? And I said, when another meme coin flips Pepe. And that was Trump. And he literally messaged on Twitter, like he tweeted on Twitter, and he's like, there's your sign, Kicks. Something flip Pepe, sell everything. And I was like, I literally said to him, I was like, this one doesn't count. And it was right, dude. It was right. Oh my God. I was like, fuck, dude. I guessed the prediction marker. It was 100% accurate. And then I said, not that one. I'm not selling everything. I'm not selling everything.
Oh man. Yeah, I mean, when you have like those convictions, you think about that in a state of mind where you're not just like in pure euphoria. That's like, or you need to like find a way to like bring yourself back to that other state of mind and say like, okay, this is crazy. because like
And
we
you
were
think about it, that makes sense, right? Because like Pepe was so strong, or still is, like was so clearly the number one, right? So if you just logically think about it, you're like, okay, if anyone flips this, we got to be in like crazy level euphoria, and we should sell everything. And it happened, and I didn't sell everything. I sold some things, but I also publicly ignored someone saying, "Hey, your signal hit." I was like, "Nah."
That one hurts.
Yeah.
Looking for degen stuff to do this cycle. Easy. What have you been up to? What's your workflow like for like degen stuff? I know you've been doing some dungeons.
He's doing a lot of
gotta
shake
click
weight
buttons,
stuff,
yeah.
right? A lot of this, like getting the
Yep, a
wrist.
lot of that, a lot of this. It's pretty casual right now. I don't know, dude. The market's so boring right now. Maybe it's because the equity market's closed, so like you don't have that volatility. I don't know, man. I'm just clicking buttons. I don't understand how this Dungeons of Fortune thing works. I'm just pressing these buttons, and it's like every 7 hours I can send them back, but like some of them die, but like I don't know if I get anything.
Yeah,
I literally
Dungeons
have no idea what's happening with it.
for people
I'm just
not
clicking
aware.
buttons.
Yeah, this thing launched on base yesterday. I'm in it. Easy's in it. So I mean, we're fairly biased. I'm probably break even overall, and I probably put a decent chunk of change into this. It's like the tokens, like I'm like watching in real time just tank right now though, so that's not a great feeling. But we're seeing a lot of these idle play games catch a bid. Maybe we've like seen the peak with Big. I think we had DeFi Dungeons that did well out of the gates. They raised like 20 mil, I think, with their initial TGE. And then Big took over Abstract. That's still around like $7. Are you still printing there, Easy?
Yeah, I'm making 350 big a day, I think. So not
2K.
bad. Still over $2,000 a day.
Okay.
Fuck you.
Yeah, they dropped new miners too, so you can buy one that gives you like 2.5 million gigahertz a second for 6,000 big. So what's that?
$30,000.
Very interesting.
What a piece of shit. He's just like, yeah, I'm still making like, I don't know, let me check, $2,000 a day. I'm just making $2,000. I'm making $700,000 a year. I'm making $1 million a year APR. I guess it's still I guess it's still okay. I mean, I guess
It could be better. Like
It's
it
fair
was better at one point. I was making 2,000 big a day for like 2 or 3 days. Like that was sick.
But the thing is,
dude, what if it's the next Bitcoin though, and you're selling your rewards?
Yeah. I could look back on like, dude, what if it is Bitcoin but bigger?
who's gonna make
Dude, it's the next Farcoin, dude. It goes to straight like 500 million.
What if Michael Saylor decides, hey, I sold all my Bitcoin to buy Bitcoin on Abstract, and now we're taking out bonds and equities because it's just easier to mine it?
All right, so who's making the marketplace where you can buy black market goods with the big token?
Yes.
That's the next, right, logically.
That's what I'm wondering.
And not Silk Road. What's another good one? Like so not Silk Cotton Road, Leather Road.
No, it'd be something like Big
Silk
Road.
Road. Oh, gotcha. You're thinking like the new name. Yeah, Big Road. Yeah.
Big Road.
Just everything's big.
I mean, the chart looks kind of nice.
Yeah,
Post
doesn't
on
look
Twitter.
bad.
Yeah, easy. Post on Twitter. Say, hey, I'm willing to pay someone for big if they send me a Domino's pizza to my house.
Dude, good call. What when's the next
I think
halving?
I'd actually be paying more than the pizza's worth.
Yeah. Well, you just got to run the exact Bitcoin play. Just run it back. You can be like the Satoshi of or whoever of Bitcoin.
Where when's the next halving?
It's like every 20 minutes.
It says it on there somewhere.
Let's find it.
It's pretty soon, I think. Let me check. It's 2.8 million blocks. We've only gone through 1.5 million, so it's a couple weeks out.
I don't know. I think this is big. What's the difference between this and Bitcoin again?
Michael Saylor owns Bitcoin. Michael Baylor owns Bitcoin.
Yeah, this one's bigger as well.
Yeah, like it's Bitcoin, but bigger.
I don't know, man. Who could have predicted the coin meta? You know, fart coin, big coin, tit coin,
House coin.
house coin. It's kind of like it's like dumber. Like you kind of have to like you have to be dumb. Like you can't think too hard. You know what I mean? You can't be like, oh, where's the analysis for fart coins able to accrue value over the next 3 years? Shut up, dude. It's almost $1 billion.
Pull back a bit. It was close to $1 billion. Now it's at 750. This is about where I top blasted in. So pulling back a little bit.
Yeah, great. One of your all-time best strategies, if I may say. Like, let's wait for the real just blow off top on this thing,
Right here.
and then I'll get in on it.
I mean, my strategy was saying like, hey, this thing has had one of these big candles and has continued to run up.
Here's what I like about it. It's tariff proof. You can't put tariffs on this, right? TradFi hates it. Okay. Bachelor Society is all in on it. It has a lot of things that I like about it.
We bought it at 1/700th of the price initially.
What about Potcoin or Highcoin? You know, there's never been a successful weed coin, meme coin. Isn't that weird?
Really?
Is it because potheads are not successful? Is that why?
I don't know. Maybe it's just like too like fastball down the middle. Is there no 420 coin with 420 coming up?
Easy. Put me in touch with the Bitcoin guy. I want to make weed coin, and it's the exact same thing, but instead of the miners, it's just like pot growing hydroponics.
Well, do you remember they tried that with LuxLab? Went south quick.
Genie.
That was a disaster. I'm telling you, dude, I think it's because potheads are kind of broke and they need money for their next bag. So they sell too early. You don't have diamond hanners.
You know what happened here? Someone hit April 1st and someone's like, oh shit, it's April. 420 is in this month. Let's go launch weed coin.
Like, you know what coins do well that are drugs? DMT, right? Amphetamine, right? Because those people are rich. Remember DMT, Senko Corporation? Back last year, that thing went absurdly high.
I don't remember this one.
But Weedcoin, okay, so Weedcoin is the thing. Why couldn't I have thought of this idea 7 days ago?
I think there's been 1 million weed coins. I think this is just the one that people are pumping this year into 420, and then it'll fall off of that.
Yeah. Well, yeah, weed's just not cool, man. It's not profitable. It's not a profitable business. It's a recreational business.
No, it's you need farts are where the profit is. Yeah, but I mean, I'm just looking at volumes. Volume is like top coin volumes down. I mean, RFC, we talked about that, down 30%, down to 58 million. Fart coin down.
And what is that? R word fried chicken? What's RFC?
The retard finder coin.
Oh yeah, that one. Okay, cool. Yeah, volume down, man. That's exciting. That's fun. What's going on Abstract?
I was talking about it was easy. Like this morning, like felt like such a shift to like it's just dead. I'm like trying to put the show together. I'm like, what are we talking about today? Like there is like nothing going on right now.
I hopped on Wednesday and I told my wife after the show, I was like, that's the first time I think in like over a year I've hopped on the show and I just had nothing. You know what I mean? Like I felt like I had nothing to contribute. I had there's nothing like interesting that I could talk about. Yeah, so fuck me, right?
Oh, do you have a take on this, Kicks?
Sure. Yeah.
Haven't had a chance to talk on this one yet. Basis for everyone.
Yeah, dude, I think that's just funny. I think it's just really funny to me. I love things where people buy the thing and it's very clearly like they're just buying it so that they can dump on someone else's heads, right? But the trade doesn't work out. And so they go absolutely like nuclear on the timeline. Like somehow they're like supposed to make money on these things. You know what I mean? And if they lose money, it's a grand conspiracy. But if they make money and dump on other people's heads, they're a genius. And we got to just see this play out beautifully with this. Like just an absolute meltdown. And then it goes up by like 8 or 9x from like the people's absolute meltdown. So from like a comedic entertainment factor, this was absolutely phenomenal.
Like this chart was something else. Like this was something else. This is what happens when you launch coins at $22 market caps.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, like this happens all the time with things where people, bots or snipers or whatever, can get a bunch of supply of something. Like I don't think someone intentionally rugged it. I think someone fucking some sniper dude that's just like scanning, bought a fuck ton of this and made a shit ton of money. And good for him. That's what everyone else was trying to do. But they're mad because they didn't get to make the money. But then you zoom out and they could have made the money. You know? So whatever, man. Yeah, I don't know about the whole content coin thing. I think that's kind of, you know, whatever on base. It's a fucking meme coin. Like you can't just like call it something else. Like it's a hot pocket. Okay, it's not a fucking ball with meat inside it. It's a fucking hot pocket. Okay, these are meme coins.
Telling me it's not a meat sock?
No, it can be.
Yeah, I mean, it's
what
a
kind
meme
of meat stock you talking about?
Yeah, it's like you could have they're all meme coins. You can have an AI coin. You can have you can have just like a straight meme coin. You can have like a project. Like they're all meme coins. Like they all fall under the same bucket. This is a meme coin that's tied to a piece of content, essentially.
So like a meme.
Content is like a meme, exactly. if that piece of content goes viral, it is a meme, and it's a meme coin. Like
it's just funny, man. It's just funny, but that's cool. But basis for everyone, guys. So no matter what skin color you are, what gender you decide to be, basis for you, basis for me. We need to get Clemente on here for a jingle.
It seems like Jesse's so out of touch. Like watching him like navigate the timeline, joining that book space. Like no one's
he went on a book space.
Yeah, to defend himself. Like asking people on the timeline if they've coined anything. He asked Shlomes, you know, the dev for like the nothing token. He's dropped other tokens in the past, asking him if he's ever coined anything. Like I feel like there's like this like weird thing.
It sounds like an undercover cop trying to buy drugs from you.
Hey man, you ever you coin anything?
Hey, you guys like coining stuff? I love to hang out with you guys. You guys big coiners? You like coining all the fucking time, dude? That's sick, man. We should be friends.
I think it shows like or highlights like an issue in crypto. It's like people are like active on chain. They get in crypto. They're very active. They understand the culture, and they like have the ability. And then they take these roles at companies where they can make a change, and then just completely lose touch with crypto culture because they're focused on bigger picture things. Like it's hard to like I pose as like the crypto trilemma. Like be in a position to make a change, have the like skills necessary to make it, and then also like understand the culture. And I feel like as you like get into a job like Jesse has, and he's spending more time doing like admin or like worrying about big picture things for base, like he's getting further away from like the actual like crypto Twitter like ethos and like understanding what like is actually happening on chain and on crypto Twitter.
Yeah, I also think it's an age thing. The older you get, you know what I mean, the just less cool you are. It's just how life works generally. And so you're not going to just be as like hip to these things. But I also think that it's like partially like something happens on a chain that like captures just everything in crypto, right? And then the other chains like try to like replicate it or like clone it, right? But it never works. You know what I mean? Like everyone is looking and they're saying Solana's success right now is because of Pump.fun, right? And because of like the memes on Pump.fun. And that was the major catalyst, just like ETH had NFTs last cycle, right? And they try to, it's like Frankenstein, right? They're trying to like recreate it, but it's never going to just hit that. Because first of all, you're doing something that's already been done. So it's never going to have the excitement, right? And I don't know. It just, like you can't manufacture something like that from happening. It's not like Pump.fun guys were like buddies with Solana, right? And they were like, oh man, Solana's been giving us so much resources and so much support. And they're our bros and we own a shit ton of Solana. So we're going to launch on Solana. If you read the history of the developers of Pump.fun, they did like 3 or 4 other projects before Pump.fun. And like one was on Base, one was on Arbitrum, one was on some other like, yeah, one was on Blast, right? So it's not like these guys were like Solana maxis or whatever maxis, right? They went there because they probably said like did the math and like they were like, this is the best ecosystem for what we're trying to build, right? And then they launched it there. So it's not like Solana even like created or helped the catalyst for Pump.fun other than just building the tech stack that was the best for Pump.fun, right? So I don't know. It's just like it's a weird thing in crypto. I understand because all businesses do this, right? Like Snapchat comes out and is super hot, right? All the other tech companies are going to try to build a Snapchat clone to try to like compete with it, right? And that almost never works out. It's like you want to have the creators of things on your chain, right? And not think that like you can just clone things on your chain.
Yeah, I think I agree. And I feel like Base does like do an interesting job of like picking or like trying to pick winners and like push them. Clemente hopped in here.
Because think about like virtuals, right? Like virtuals just launched on Base, right? I don't think the virtuals team like launched on Base because they were best friends with Jesse or this or that or whatever. And because of that, Base had an awesome AI season, you know, and was like toe to toe with Solana on that for a period of time. But once again, like I don't know. It's like you can't manufacture those things. All you can do is try to set up an ecosystem that's, I guess, developer friendly and help people with tools and stuff like that. But yeah,
trying to like push your own narrative. I feel like does more harm than good. Nick Clemente jumping in as we're getting ready to wrap. How you guys doing? What's up, Nick?
do you guys have a serious meeting?
A good Friday to my fellow goys.
That's racist.
Day, right? It's a big day for you guys.
That's hella racist talk.
No, it's not racist.
Yeah, it is, dude.
Nah, that's wicked racist. I take offense to that.
No, it's literally the Yiddish word for non-Jew.
Do we have a word for non-Christians?
What my religion is?
Gentiles.
Yeah, I think you guys call them heathens.
People going to hell.
What's the word for that Muslims call non-Muslims?
Sinners.
So we actually can't say that word on this show.
Wait, Nick, you guys celebrate Good Friday too?
No, we don't.
They call them.
We got them. We got them. That's what they say.
Got it.
They do have a word. They call them kafir, which means infidel and truth denier. So if someone calls you a kafir, you know you're.
What happened on Good Friday? Because Easter isn't
Easter
when Jesus rises.
Yeah, so today he died.
He died today.
He
on
died
the cross.
Sunday raises from the dead.
So today is when you call us murderers.
Yeah.
No, when I was a Catholic, there was no ill will towards the Jews. Our priests never were like that. And those mean guys. If anything, the Romans, you know, there was a lot of anger maybe towards the Romans that really facilitated it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, yeah. So he has to walk with the cross. He's got to drag it up to the hill. Then they, you know, put it up there. Then he sits on it. Then one of the soldiers kind of spears him. He talks to the two thieves on the cross. So one thief is like, if you're really Jesus, man, you'd get us all off of this cross right now. And the other thief was like, if you're really, you know, like, I believe in you. I believe that you're Jesus. And he was like, well, I'll see you in heaven. And the other guy was like, tough luck, man. You ain't going to make it on this one. And yep, then that's it for 3 days.
Risky Trades getting real angry at my comment. I don't know.
You delete that.
No, I just got kicked out. There's so many messages.
Countered that with counter racism, I guess. I don't know, but I don't think my statement was racist.
Oh my gosh.
Nick, I love you, and I love that you're Jewish.
Someone said it's what do we call Good Friday? Shabbat.
Yeah, that's just every Friday, right? Go to Shabbat. I thought it was Chabad. Shabbat.
No, that's Chabad, and that's a group, basically.
So you do Shabbat with Chabad.
No, Chabad is a branch of Orthodox Judaism, but there's Chabad centers, and they're very active in the community. Basically, they'll go and organize things at the last condominium I lived at, they had I don't know if it was like a Hanukkah celebration they put together. I showed up for the building, and it was really a rallying cry for Chabad.
Good food.
You know? Not to be confused with Hamas. That's
definitely
or hot bod, which Clemente was saying that you should send money to people on Echo with hot bods yesterday.
Little sexual grooming.
No,
Wait,
no, no. Ray was trying to make a correlation to me saying that instead of sending Ansem Ask Girls for their Solana address, you can just say, yo, check your Echo wallet. I just sent you something on Echo, if you know what I'm saying.
So you're picking up women by handing them money.
I'm not. I'm saying you can. People
But that's-
have done it, and
that's
if
your
you're
brilliant
going
idea.
to do it on Echo. Also, check this game out. This is Mega ETH. Mega ETH is dumb fast. So they built Crossy Roads to show how fast their wallet is or their chain is. Every single move is a transaction. Look at this. This is
Why do we need this?
Look how fast it is. There was.
This
is faster than Solana.
It is.
Oh,
Is
fuck, dude. What?
Every single one is a
Solana's
transaction.
fucked, dude.
Why is there ETH in their name again? Can you tell me?
Well, they're built
L2.
on ETH. They're an L2.
Are you
they're
controlling
an
his
L2.
character? Who did that?
Yeah, that's me.
You're garbage at this
and then
game.
look
Well,
at this.
dude, the fact you just died was crazy, dude. That
Look at
was,
this. They have a base version, and the base version is just ass. Look, the transactions just don't go through.
Oh, that's pretty funny.
So these guys are pretty smart with how they're rolling it out.
Show us
That's good
Monad.
marketing.
Go to Monad.
Monad's pretty fast.
I saw a lot of Monad shit talking on the timeline yesterday.
Oh,
This is a really smart idea. This is like a very good visualization of the chain.
oh,
Yeah.
oh.
Wow.
Why
look
didn't
at
they
that.
Why didn't they compare it to Solana?
Okay, go back
They're
to Mega.
scared.
And now back to Mega ETH. Mega
They're
ETH.
scared. Okay. They know what's up. They know they're not gonna put
We're
it on it.
faster than the other slow guys.
I like
Yo,
how
this
they.
is like
Oh,
my God.
Oh, look at those fucking.
You're
Hey,
go-
yo,
you're
pro
going-
tip: get away from the shadow.
Yeah, dude. Wow, that was aggressive. Although he's doing.
You
wild
hired this
shit.
guy, Clemente. This guy's going ham.
Oh my god. Wait, so Mega, that is actually very good marketing. I like that.
Yeah. How can I
Did we
get in?
discuss did we discuss the base situation?
No,
We talked
Eric's
about it a
agreed
little
with
bit.
this
I
king.
got Kix's take. I would love to hear yours, Nick.
Well, what's his name be in my DMs?
Jesse
What's
Pollock.
his name? Yeah, Jesse.
Are you guys gonna have your debate?
Well, I don't think it's going to happen if I'm being completely honest, because I feel like he's a wussy.
So you're creating another rivalry.
Well, we discussed it internally and decided that may not be a good idea strategically, just because you're
Yeah.
ultimately going after Coinbase.
Yeah, I wasn't on that call, but if I was on that call, I probably would have kind of said something similar. Maybe, I don't know.
Well, it wasn't a call; it was a text message. You should see my draft tweet.
So now you're like Solana. You're aligning with the Solana.
Let me
camp?
just say, I screenshotted a DM, and that was
You
part
posted
of
it.
I didn't post it. That's in the draft.
So you're considering posting it.
I don't want to post it because basically it ruins my entire relationship with them. But let's just say this:
You've
we
already
should
kind of
rally-
ruined it a little bit. You know what I mean? So I guess it's like how much farther, right?
Okay, hold on. This is
Hey,
a counter take.
is there a br-
Is he suggesting that I get after this? So here's the deal. Let me give my take. What was your question going to be, Ray? Because I actually have a proper take on this entire situation.
My question is there any bridge that you will not burn?
Nick, what if you say, let's hop on a debate or a call or
Yeah,
a podcast?
I won't I won't burn a bridge built on integrity.
And then we'll content coin it.
That's what I said.
You'll
I told him.
content coin the debate.
That's what I told him. So then I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'll create a content coin yesterday. I did. I generated over $1,000 in creator fees, apparently. And there's also tokens that I was given that I could have dumped for another $1,000 plus, but I didn't do it because I was just like, this is ridiculous. That would like fuck up the token. The token's down in price right now.
Should have
But-
sold it. You let someone else make money.
But according to the content coin chief, Jesse Polak, that's all good. It doesn't matter. Like none of it, the price doesn't matter. My question is, who's buying these tokens and why? What's motivating them behind purchasing that token? And my guess is it's people that are speculating on the price. Like,
well, Nick, there's meme coins and then there's content coins.
Okay.
And you really got to understand that.
So I listened to the a little bit of the clip he had with or the
Bankless.
he did with Bankless, and I thought it was interesting. He basically was going over his own Zora profile and was looking at it from a perspective of like, this is my Instagram. This is my on-chain Instagram. So
I thought Zora was a blockchain.
No, it's a company that is heavily invested in by Coinbase Ventures. Roughly 50 million United States dollars were invested by Coinbase Ventures into Zora.
When I sometimes go in Zapper, I see that I have 2 ETH on Zora and I can never get it.
So he's basically valuing some of these posts. He's basically going through. He's like, yeah, someone thought my Sunset Hill. He's looking at like, wow, this picture's worth $1,900. That's pretty cool.
That's pretty dope, dude.
And then he was like, yeah, look, this is my on-chain Instagram. And if people want to collect it, they can. This thing is worth $1,500 for some reason. This on-chain baby is worth $1,200.
I own 51% of that, and we're renaming Jesse's kid to Lil Easy.
Lil Easy. Good rapper name, dude. Yeah, that's interesting. So I don't think that most of that's probably too valuable, but I could be wrong.
But then you're also tweeting out, hey, here's the link to buy my Instagram post.
Yeah.
That's a little odd. Like, just do it in a vacuum.
And the issue that it's tradable, to me, is the thing that it has a floating price. To me, is the thing that's weird about the overall dynamic, because ultimately, I guess it's arguably you could say it's also an NFT, but it's not an NFT. It has a floating
market cap and a liquidity pool.
So it's like a meme coin.
Yeah, no, content coin.
Oh, it's like a content coin. Yeah, or are we fighting the next Pump.fun, you know? Like if you took a picture of when Trump got shot and then you posted it on your Zora, would that have traded for a lot of money?
But don't Pump.fun tokens have a photo also?
Huh?
Don't Pump.fun?
Yeah, people did that for Pump.fun tokens. They did it for.
I guess theoretically, what you are arguing is that maybe the official photographer of that photo would be the person who would be better off posting that. In which case, I agree. There was Sergito launched a Instagram competitor on-chain mobile app as well.
Fab.fun?
No, it's called something else, but
Popset.
Popset.
So he launched Popset, and the goal is something very similar. The distinction is every post is an NFT. There is something kind of interesting, but let's play this out for a moment. I actually like part of the idea behind it. My main concern is the audience of people. Like, there's people in my replies being like, yeah, but the price is down only since he posted it or whatever. And I'm like, okay, like I didn't make this because I wanted to make you money. But who's the audience of people that are going to speculate on that token? Also, there's 1 billion tokens or something like that with each of these, right?
Probably the same people that buy meme coins.
Is it? But like, imagine if Instagram was, would you go and buy those and trade them? Maybe.
No. I'd buy it if I could think I could sell it to someone stupider for more.
Clemente, I want to get your take here because this is interesting. You go on viral posts and you look at viral posts, like you see the initial post, the one that has like 9 million, 10 million, 100 million. You think there's value in like trading those viral posts and like them accruing or losing value versus other narratives at the time? Like, that's an interesting thing to me.
I would love to bet on the virality of a post. And I think that's what Zora is interesting with. Nick bringing up the interesting point, whoever did, about the Trump picture when he got shot. That would be, if that was on Zora, that would actually be like a really interesting way of tokenizing it without it being a meme coin. Because I think the meme coin part of it has a different level of feel versus I just tokenize this picture, do what you want with it.
Yeah, and on that point, what I'm kind of thinking about is Pump.fun is more chart based, right? The image isn't really the front and center, right? And they're often linking to posts on Twitter and stuff like that, right? As the source of that versus like looking at this, it's kind of like Instagram, you know, where the image is the front and center thing. And I think I kind of like that. Like this one, like look at this right here, you know?
Yeah, like there's no like you can buy it. You don't see price. Like I can't easily see how much this is worth.
Yeah, because you're buying it for the amount of ETH, right? Or is that how much ETH you're going to buy worth of it?
How much ETH you're going to buy worth of it?
Oh yeah, this is great.
I mean, the problem that he's attacking is a valid one. A lot of people, a lot of artists and creators say Instagram is the person that extracts all the value from the content, and that's a pretty accurate assessment. What you get is a follower base, and you can leverage that you can monetize that essentially. But it's a different sort of thing where you basically need to contribute to the network in order to earn the value.
Well, like an artist could just post their art on here, right? And then people could buy their art instead of having to like mint NFTs.
Yeah, it means like editions.
Why wouldn't you just do an open edition?
Because then people could just buy whatever they want. I don't know.
Like,
well, kind of is an open edition in one regard. There is an interesting dynamic there where you do have unlimited upside if the demand for it is substantial. So like the current audience that's on here though is speculative Memecoin people. Plus
the base page, the team members are talking about how people are turning 10 cents to $1. Like, what the fuck are we doing?
In the rap game, they say that they say turning a pack into a rack.
Well, hold on. What? Easy for a second. So I'm gonna advocate for them for a second just to play.
Oh, here we go now. I knew this was coming.
So let's take Pokemon.
Yeah,
I'd catch them all.
Would you pay $1 for a card to just to see what happens, basically?
Yeah, but I'm not selling the Pokemon card. I'm not like me paying $1 for a card is to own the card, just to have it. But same idea. Pokemon cards are way more similar to an open edition because there's many prints of one card that ultimately stops getting printed. With a coin, there's a liquidity pool. You don't actually own the image, right? You own
the
a
token.
fraction of it. You own a token. The liquidity pool can still be drained. People can still snipe this thing. We saw it with Basis for Everyone. There was 2 wallets that sniped it pre-tweet that made $600,000 a piece. With an open edition, you could buy the full supply, sure, but there's no cap for X amount of time. Same with Pokemon cards. They can keep printing more of these cards. So that to me is where like the similarity is versus this token thing where you have a liquidity pool, you have a DEX to swap, you can sell it back. Like I look at Pokemon cards significantly closer to NFTs than meme coins.
I agree. I agree with that. One of my thought, when Coinbase launched their NFT platform, which was a disaster, I thought that it would be most interesting if suddenly there were these liquidity pools for the NFTs. I thought they were going to go this way. So when you actually think about this is that version of where I thought NFTs were going to go.
Counter argument, Wasabi gave you a liquidity pool for NFTs.
Yeah, but no one's fucking using Wasabi.
But I'm still saying the product existed. There were AMMs built for NFTs where you could instantly sell at any time. Market making, essentially. Buys and sells underneath floor for a set percentage, underneath floor with consistent liquidity pools for NFTs. It was done on Sol. It was done on ETH. People tried it. And what did it do? It led to microtransactions for NFTs and ultimately what people claim was the start of the downfall for NFTs.
Okay, fair enough. But Blur, I'd say, was the one that really did it, and they got rid of all creator royalties essentially and catered exclusively to the speculator group, which was driving all of the volume, which is an important audience to cater to. I actually, as I'm sitting here thinking about it, I don't know that this approach is the best. Like, there's a flaw in the logic, and I think the flaw in the logic is the fact that the assumption that the creator is going to not get fudded out to high hell when the token price pumps and dumps, that part is wrong. And that happened universally when you look at who was Danny Creature World. So like Creature World pumped and dumped, and I'm assuming a lot of the people that own Danny's thing were not happy. And I'm sure Danny got a lot of FUD, basically being like, what the fuck are you doing? You're not executing properly. You're not doing
I bought it for this much and now it's down, man. And now I lost money, man. What are you going to do?
Yeah, and that was a guy from Long Island, basically, that was really pissed at Danny.
I can't get my cannolis now.
And so, and he could have been associated with mafia people, which was a danger, Danny.
Facts.
You know, so
yeah. But that's the thing
all,
is you can't not do stuff in this space because there's people that lose money in this space and then they get mad and blame everybody but themselves. You'll never build anything in this space if you try to like protect for that. Nothing would exist in this space. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You couldn't build FanDuel if you were like, well, what about the guys that do the 14 leg parlays for $10 every Sunday? We probably shouldn't bake this.
Here's an interesting thing. The supply of the token is an issue because there's a billion of these particular thing, but you get the total market cap is generated from that. If you did individual NFTs, they wouldn't be selling. And you can't buy it. The beauty is you get a fractional component that you can go and buy. So you can buy one, you can buy two, you can.
And there's a liquidity pool.
And theoretically, the creator could make a decision in terms of rights and ownership and stuff like that associated with that particular token. I do actually, as I'm sitting here, think that this is more interesting than NFTs. The distinction, though, is I think there's a value in the NFT side of things where it would be interesting if like somehow there was some way to convert that token into NFT versions, which would be a drain on the supply. So you want the NFT, you can go mint the NFT for some percentage of this thing.
So 404s, reverse 404s.
I mean, isn't this just Pump.fun just reskinned though? What's the difference?
Yes.
It's Instagram. You can see someone buy and you can follow them. And you can see if they have posts. So if Frank was on here, you could follow Frank. And then is Frank posting pictures? Let's get in on little Frank now.
I'm trying to advocate for this for 1 second. Easy says it's just a skin of Pump.fun, and that's a valid thing to say. No, he asked, and Easy responded yes. And the thing that I was going to say is you could argue that, but maybe this is the image first version of Pump.fun and video. I was able to upload like my entire video from yesterday.
You can upload video on Pump.fun.
That's what I'm saying. But we're going from looking at charts now. Pump.fun is chart first, image second. Facebook, it's Facebook. Instagram, image first, chart second. So Pump.fun is Facebook. Zora is Instagram. And we know where the chicks are at, dude.
Oh, we know where those chicks are at. You know what I'm saying?
Echo. On Echo.
You want me hitting on a grandma, go over to Facebook. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, they need a mobile app for this thing, basically, would be the main thing to try it out.
The idea sucks, and it's just them trying to push something because they have a heavily vested financial interest.
How much is Solana paying you to say that?
Of course they're going to do that. But so there's nothing wrong with an investor pumping their bags. I actually don't think there's anything wrong with that. Well, I do I think that Jesse is cringy? Yeah, I think the guy's a little bit cringy. But like, I don't know that that like inherently this is a holistically bad idea. You got to give room for some level of experimentation. The thing that people were annoyed at is the degen crowd. The degen crowd that wants to go in and only see the price go up and it doesn't go up. And they get fucking pissed off when it went down, which is what everyone was pissed. The price went from 20 million down to 2 million and everyone says, oh my God, fuck these guys. And that was where the FUD started. And it was because they launched other tokens, basically. Jesse was like, I would have said that I'm going to publish more. I think Eli, and that's why I pinned that comment, actually maybe was the best way of saying it, is if they said this is the Instagram, the Instagram of Pump.fun. I think that's actually interesting position.
Hire me for marketing. You know what I'm saying? Because that was my bars right there. Nick, let me hit you with another thing. Remember that picture on you on the boat with Easy?
I'm about to post it.
Yeah, but imagine if at the time you had posted that, or the video, your Choose Rich video, where you're walking around in Florida, and you posted those on Zora. People would have been able to trade those. Super pure play.
So Zora is like, hey, you can launch coins, and the stigma is not as much.
Yeah,
no, not launching coin. You're just tokenizing it, and the coin is in the back end. What Kix is saying is the coin is in BullX or Solana. The coin is the front. The front.
We're not tokenizing it. We're just coining things, dude.
They need marketing help. Okay,
Call it Bitcoin
Tokenizing
or be
You
Jamaican.
are tokenizing it.
No, we're coining it, Nick. He said the word to you multiple times.
you guys
The fact that
remember?
they're trying to use base and coin is ridiculous, dude.
This is why I'm a good marketer, because these are the things that they need to be talking about. Remember in 2021 when someone paid like $3 million for Jack Dorsey's first tweet on Twitter?
Yes.
Zora.
Well, and the problem was they were the only owner of that thing, which was a dumb idea, basically.
Exactly. Zora.
And then this is actually a way of fractionalizing it without calling it fractionalizing, because fractionalizing is a security.
It is. This just magic little fairy dust.
All right. So bottom line here is, it feels like
I've come around. I'm gonna try posting another. I'm gonna post an image.
I want you to try. I'm gonna buy some of your pictures
and see what happens. I have no idea. I'm gonna say the thing's stupid the entire fucking time. But I'm curious. I'm genuinely curious to see what this is.
Maybe sneak a dick pic in there, see what happens.
By the way, there's no value of buying this. I'm not going to advocate for these things. If someone's listening right now is saying, you better pump the thing. The thing I will say is I got so much fucking FUD about like the Nick token, the Choose Rich token, which I didn't create. There's a guy that was like in my reply saying, well, it's not like the Nick token or whatever it is. Cool, go speculate on individual things. The one thing I will say is each time you print one of these things, you're minting a billion tokens.
A billionaire.
It would be better if it was like 1 million, I think. Or I don't know.
There's 6 billion people. Yeah, there's 6 billion people on Earth. Come on, Ty, think bigger.
Well, I just bought 590,000 of Jesse's baby. I would have only wanted like 10, to be honest. I would have been happy with.
A number's a number. And we know people like to own more of things. They like to buy things that are like 0.001 because they're like, what if it goes to $1?
He has to be rage
Exactly, exactly what I said.
This is wild. Anyway, so it seems like what Base did was good.
Eli, how much are you gonna buy? Post it down below. Let me know if you're gonna buy it, dude.
They have everybody talking about it. They have people like Nick who are against it using it. The price of the token's up significantly. Like, is this the master class of marketing?
At the very least, you got to be thinking one word, 7 letters. If any of you guess it, you get a special prize. One word,
doesn't someone do
7
if
letters.
This was on Solana, would you be interested, Easy?
He'd be glazing it, dude.
Oh, he'd be glazing it, dude. He'd be licking his chops.
No, because you could already do this on Pump.fun. So it would just
No,
be a
you
rewash.
can't.
Not really.
It's image second.
Real quick, Nick, what can you not do on Pump.fun that you can do on Zora?
I'm gonna come out and say it. You make a mobile app Instagram that's on like Solana or something like that. That's like Zora, or if Zora supports that. I've fully come around to being that's fucking interesting to me.
And Easy. The question was, what can you not do on Pump.fun?
Zora what can you not do on Pump.fun that you can do on Zora?
Okay, on Pump.fun, you can't like put someone in a cage and live stream them and like only feed them dirt.
Well, you could. They got rid of it.
Oh, they did? You can do it again?
Live streams are back. But the other thing is Zora does have content guidelines because somebody made a thing right after Basis for Everyone called basis for a very
Nazi.
derogatory term for
Goy.
no, two men that are in a relationship, and said this
Ah.
basis for blank here.
That's not nice. That's
No, it was
mean.
very mean.
Probably hurt
And they
some
took it
people's
down
feelings.
for content guidelines. So if Nick uploaded his viral wiener from AVAX on there, it probably would have gotten taken down too.
The DGen,
But it still exists on chain as a token.
dude, the DGen fucking community is garbage. I'm just shouting out that they like the audience sucks, and the distinction is, dude, there were people that used to trade like meme cards and stuff like rare Pepes.
Yes.
NFTs.
Yes.
And to me, this is basically that same
Yes.
thing where you can go into that community, you can do the exact same thing, but it's a floating market. It's always liquid. There's an LP pool. So yeah, you can sell it as the price goes down or the price goes up. I used to look at Beckett magazine to see the price of my baseball cards, basically that I was buying. I think it's the exact same thing. The problem is airdrop.
7-letter word. That was the guess.
There wasn't always liquidity on it, which is what NFTs end up with. But yeah, you are right as well, Easy, with whatever that. What was the platform you said that tried this for NFTs?
Wasabi.
Wasabi.
This is classy though. It's
This is classy. That's so complicated and stuff like that.
Classy,
You can't show that.
Stamp of approval on it. That's it.
Okay.
That's it.
You can't show that to like your girlfriend, and your girlfriend will understand it. You can
We're
show
taking
this
a
to your
pig.
girlfriend.
We're taking the fattest pig in the farm and slapping some grade A designer lipstick on it.
I don't know.
You could-
I'm
you could
down with
show
buying
any-
a card for 10 cents, basically. That to me is really interesting. That I'm scrolling through instead of bookmarking. I'm buying it for 10 cents, hoping that the price goes up, but it doesn't matter. It was 10 cents that I bought the card for. The problem is all those NFTs pumped to. I had to liquidate NFTs that are over $100,000. That is an insane situation to end up in that place, and the average person is not participating at that end of the market. And so the cheap one was you couldn't go on Ethereum and trade an NFT for 10 cents because there was gas associated with it. So anyways, I'm interested in this.
Yeah, you could show anyone and just say this is Instagram pictures.
I like it.
The issue is like, I guess you get the provenance with the account. Like, if you're an account,
What if that signal in the feed? People buying the thing is one of the best signals to the algorithm.
Yep.
Shit. Ray, you got to go like jump off your. Do you have a
I
point in
gotta
your
go. I
backyard?
gotta go. Also, Pia's calling me. I didn't call him back. I got like all sorts of shit to take care of on this Good Friday.
Tell Pio every morning when he's making his eggs, post that shit on Zora.
Try it out.
Give it a go.
The problem
Thank you all
with
for joining us.
a desktop version of it does suck. You need a
It
mobile
does
app
suck.
version.
You need a mobile app. I'm with you.
Thank you all for joining us. That's going to do it for today's show. Thank you all for tuning in all week long. We do the show Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern time. Watch us back on all major podcasting platforms, Spotify, Apple. Watch us on YouTube, see what we're talking about. Look at what we're tokenizing live in real time. Thanks again. We'll see you next week. Have a wonderful weekend.